I'm Kevin Devine and this is Devine Encounters, and here is another great celebrity interview. Mr. Dean Mumford.
All right, how you doing?
How are you today?
Very well, thanks.
What brings you into town today?
I've just come out and bought a new guitar in Denmark Street, in West Sides. Yeah,
right.
New Martin. Yeah, fresh off the rack, literally 10 minutes ago.
It was either that or I was going to ask you about to start, have you got
Busking.
a gig in this afternoon? No, forget the busking, you know.
No, it's just I've got a gig coming up on Sunday on my own, just an acoustic gig, and I wanted a new acoustic, and Martin are the best, in my opinion, so just shot down Denmark Street. I'd had my eye on one for ages, been on YouTube looking at people playing it, and went up and had a go myself, and it plays like a dream. So.
Done from that?
Yeah, done. So.
Now, we obviously know you as a musician, right? You're one of these guys that have played with a lot of different, famous names over the years.
Yeah.
What have you currently been doing? What sort of music projects have you had on the go?
Recently I've been playing with Suggs out of Madness. He's got a one-man show he's doing at the moment, which tells his life story in about an hour and a half, with a little bit of an interval, but it's done comically, how he got his name, the stories when he met the specials, and some brilliant stories. And he does a few Madness songs, so I accompany him on a grand piano with that, and some couple of covers and little musical snippets that are relevant to the story he's telling at the point in the show. But I've been doing that since December. We've just done 22 dates up and down the country. We've got the Edinburgh Festival coming up at the end of August.
Good.
And some more dates in the autumn, and then some more next year. So he's moving it around, because he's got some Madness dates coming up as well. It's been going down great. It's selling out everywhere. So yeah, about 1,000 a night up and down the country doing this show. So I
would imagine as well, you obviously, because of Suggs' background, you get a lot of the nutty boys coming along. So
it's madness. Pardon the pun, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's the atmosphere like in the show?
Well, it depends where you are. It's been like, we went to Newcastle, and he couldn't get a word out of every sentence, so it was brilliant there. It's been great, across the country, but some places go ballistic, like Newcastle, and then the other places are very quiet, like theatre goers, and hang on every word, are very quiet, but they go mad at the end with a standing ovation, But so it varies depending on where you are, but it's generally been, pretty nuts,
And outside of that, you've got your own band on the go just now. Where are they playing? Have you got gigs coming up for them?
We start rehearsals. The Rifles are called. We start rehearsals next Monday for 2 weeks. We're playing some warm-up dates in York, Bournemouth, Southend, and we're playing Manchester Ritz on the 29th of March, Shepherd's Bush Empire on the 30th of March, and the London Troxy on the 31st of March. So, and then there's some other dates. We've got V Festival and some German festivals and other little ones up and down the country. But dates are coming in thick and fast now, So that's all going all right. So.
And you're a talented musician in your own right. But when you were growing up, what was the first thing that attracted you to? Was it somebody playing a musical instrument, or was it a piece of music that you thought?
It was Buddy Holly, as it happens. Yeah. There was a film with Roger Daltrey out called, what's it called now? But there was a song Every Day by Buddy Holly was played at the end. Roger Daltrey, he's a teacher. I think he's a teacher. I saw it at school, and I just got into Buddy Holly from there. And I was about 7 or 8. And then my dad ordered Buddy Holly's stuff, so I started collecting Buddy Holly, and then rock and roll with G. Valens, Gene Vincent, Eddie Cochran, and then I started classical piano. I started to learn to read music through that. Grades went all through my grades, but always liking the rock and roll side of the 50s and the 60s and the Beatles. It just went from there, really. Yeah. So Every Day by Buddy Holly. Yeah.
This is quite. You've talked about quite a varied musical background there, because you've obviously had, as you say, the rock and roll influences coming in there, which seems quite fast and loose, and everyone knows it, real rhythm.
Yeah.
You've had a classical background.
Yeah. I got to grade 5. I was 7 in classical, and I sort of give it up when I was 16 because I was doing A-levels then, and I was starting to get into bands and playing. I've been in so many bands since then, but it was classical music that gave me the right direction.
And do you find that's a good influence in when you're writing songs and when the creativity's coming out?
Yeah. You don't have to know classical to write songs. You don't have to be able to read music to write songs, that. But it's not a bad thing to know, to have that knowledge of classical music and arrangement and keys and scales and all the theory of music and all that does come into play much later on to some point, But I know brilliant songwriters and musicians who've never learned to read music, but it doesn't do you any harm knowing that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a muso, but it doesn't help. It don't hurt knowing it.
You're not really. We can see by the style and everything, and obviously you get your electric guitars and things. That you're not sitting out there with the dicky bow on and the dinner jacket.
No. I don't think I'll go down that way. No.
And over the years, who have been the bands you mentioned who played in loads of bands and some musicians? Who have been the people that you admire most that you've managed to get to play with?
Weller. Madness, I was always into Madness. Squeeze, I met Chris Difford,
Great
Glenn
song,
Tilbrook, incredible band.
Yeah.
I mean, Weller was always a massive influence in our house as well growing up. Then I got to go down. The Rifles, we recorded our album down Black Barn at his studio, and he played on the last single. It was out in January.
Wow.
Yeah. And so Weller, Suggs, and Madness. Who else? Liam and Noah I've met quite a few times. Never had a chance to play with them though.
Right.
I'm hoping someday that'll happen, but I think I'd say of all, Weller's been like the one I've always wanted to meet, and had the chance to play with him live on the radio doing That's Entertainment. I was on the Hammonds and he was playing That's Entertainment on Absolute Radio. I had to pinch myself after that one.
I was going to say that because he's such a legend now, and he's always still been around, and he's known as one of the names is given as a mod father, because it wasn't just about the music, it was about the fashion, and he's influenced so many people. So,
and he's such a lovely bloke and all, But it's like, when you're talking to him, he's just chatting away, and he sort of walk off. I've just been talking the first time I met him, just talking to Weller. Blimey, he's just so laid back and just cool as, And
is there anyone out there that you would like to play with that you haven't had the chance to yet?
I'd say Noel and Liam, because they were another influence growing up, in the 90s. John Squire at the Stone Roses. Steve Craddock out of Ocean Colour Scene. I'd love to do something with him or play something with them. Ian Dury, sadly, he's gone.
Now that was going to be my next question. Is there anyone who has passed? Obviously you've mentioned Ian Dury there. Are there people in the past that you Buddy Holly, obviously.
Buddy Holly, Ian Dury would have been amazing. Another one, Kurt Cobain would have been one. That was a great loss there. I'd say Ian Dury would have been at top of the tree in that one, I think.
And when you were
when
you were growing up again and starting out sort of thing, was it just like the stereotypical thing where you were playing in front of the mirror?
Yeah. We've all done that with a broom handle. Yeah, of course you have. Yeah, I used to put. I had a dance set, 1950s dance set, with all me Buddy Holly 7-inches. I mean, Madness 7-inches, whacking on the old dance set, all fall down one by one. Miming in front of the mirror. Got to be done, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. I take it you don't take the guitars into the shower as well?
No, not this one.
Too expensive.
This one, it's been under lock and key, this one. So.
And if we want to find out about your recorded material, where can we, is there anything on iTunes just now?
Yeah, The Rifles is all on iTunes. So if you go www.therifles.net, that's the official website, and that's got all links to the ticket agencies for the gigs coming up, and all gigs coming up. We've got V this year with and the Roses there with Noel, and Madness are there, and Spiral Carpets, Shed 7 are there. I mean, it's like a really good lineup. Yeah, so we're playing at that as well. But all the tickets for that, all the links are on the website. Yeah, therifles.net. That's the one. Yeah. Oh, Facebook. It's the Rifles page on Facebook as well.
And do you tweet?
I have got Luke out the Rifles. He tweets a lot. That's the Rifles band. Excuse me, on Twitter. I'm not on that much, but Luke's on there keeping that updated too.
And I'm going to finally put you on the spot here. If you had to pick one instrument you could only play for the rest of your life as a musician, what would it be?
Piano.
Simple as?
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt.
I'll see what we can do. We'll see if we can dig up a Steinway and get on your
if you wouldn't mind,
island.
an 80 grand one would be lovely, full size, yeah.
That sounds like a pretty good ambition to me. Listen, Dean, it's been a real pleasure speaking to you today.
Thanks very much. Yeah.
Enjoy the gigs.
You're welcome.
All the best.
Thanks
Cheers,
very
my
much.
friend. Thank you.
Cheers.